All right, so I'm going to tell you this simple analogy very quickly. And if you understand this truth about life, then you will win no matter where you're at, okay? So take a moment and think about the Grand Canyon. How is the Grand Canyon made, right? It's because of water, right? Over time, the water created the Grand Canyon. However, we can all agree that water is not as strong as rock. Yeah, can we agree on that, right? So the reason why it's possible for something like the Grand Canyon to be created when realistically water is nowhere near as hard as rock, it's simply because of how persistent it is. The only reason it's possible is because the water is so persistent. If you put a rock and you put some water on top of it, if you simply just put a droplet of water, one droplet won't stop it, right? Most people, their days, it's like one droplet. Most people, their days, they try something once and they think that it doesn't work, right? If you put a droplet on a rock one time, will it work? Will it make a hole in it? No, it won't even make a dent because it's nowhere near as persistent as it should be. However, you put that same rock under that same drop of water, but you put that drop of water a million times, it's definitely going to make a hole. Why? Because of how persistent it is. And if you understand that we are a part of nature, then you'll start to understand that you can apply that to your life as well. If you are the dumbest person in the room, there could be 100 people in the room, and there could be you, the dumbest rock, the dumbest person in the room. It does not matter. It doesn't matter if you're the dumbest person and the smartest guy in the room. If he's not persistent, right? Because obviously, if he's persistent and he's smart, he's probably going to beat you. But let's just say the smartest guy in the room, that's all he has going for himself is his intellect, how smart he is. But you, the dumb rock, you're prepared to do the work. You're prepared to never quit. You're prepared to keep on grinding and keep pushing no matter how hard it gets, no matter how you feel, no matter what everyone thinks. The odds are against you. Who cares? You're never going to stop. You're persistent. You keep hammering it until you get what you want. The most intelligent guy in the room, you guys can be trying to aim at the same goal, right? You and him could be going at the same goal. And him, if he tries and he quits, you will beat him. You will beat him simply because of your persistence. The same way that it's possible for the Grand Canyon to happen, right? It's possible for you to achieve your goals. Because even if, even if the goal was to create that and all the odds were against the water, it's physically impossible for the rock to stay exactly how it is with the water being so persistent. It gets worn down. Persistence wears down resistance. So that means that persistence over time applied at a specific area in your life for a long period of time, it's bound to break down the resistance. It's bound to break down the walls of whatever it is. If you want to get abs, right? If you are fat and you want a six pack and you persistently you continue to go to the gym, you continue to eat right, it's only a matter of time before you get what it is you want. If you want to learn a skill, sales, marketing, copywriting, whatever the case may be, if you continue persistently, you continue applying the right amount of action persistently, you don't stop, it's just a matter of time before you get to where you want to be. So if you understand that, you will start to understand that you have everything you need in your possession. And it's all about how persistent are you willing to be. And in order to be very persistent, you have to have a strong why. The why of the water is because it needs to flow. Water needs to flow. It's not going to stay still, so it needs to flow. So even if rock is in its way, it's going to flow. And even if rock is in its way, it's going to wear it down over time so that it has space to flow. That is the why. So, what is your why? What is your why, and why do you do what you do? Why do you get up every day? Why do you want the desired result that you want? What is it about it? And once you can figure that out, then you can be persistent as long as you want. Once you figure out the why, because you can't be persistent without a why. Without a why, the persistence cannot be applied because persistence means you're going to do it for a long period of time. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, right? So if you cannot figure out your why, you will not figure out why you should be persistent. However, once you figure out the why, that's the start. Once you figure out the why, you have the motivating factor. On the days where you don't feel like doing it, but you remember your why, you remember why you're doing this. You remember why you need to be persistent. Why? Because I have this goal. This is why. And I want this because of this. This is why. And the reason why I want that is because of this. This is why. See, your why is very deep and it's only important to you because your why might not be important to me and my why might not be important to you. And that's okay. Our whys are personal. Our whys are personal to ourselves because that's the thing about people wanting to get motivated by others. It's cool to get motivated by others. And hey, I've listened to a few speeches myself where I felt motivated, right? You feel like, wow, this is motivating. That's right. But it's not going to keep you going forever. Why? Because the why is not personal to you. That motivating speech was motivating in the moment. You felt motivated at the time, right? It was like something, a switch got flipped. You felt motivated. Why is that? Because the other person says something that's motivator, but why didn't it last? Right? Let's just say for most people at the first of the year, January 1st, they're motivated by other people. Oh, we're gonna get our goals and this and this and that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo, woo. And then they don't continue it, right? They don't continue losing weight. They don't continue doing whatever it is they said they were gonna do. Why? Because they didn't have their why. But I promise you, if you get cheated on, if you get broken up with, or something along those lines, and now you have that why, now you have that revenge in you. That's why a lot of guys get in shape after a breakup. Now you have that why. Because you're like, man, fuck that bitch. I'm going to get in shape. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you keep going and you don't stop because of your why. Eventually, that why fades away. And then you have to figure out a new why. What is your why in the current moment, in the current present moment? So, the message of this video is persistence wears down resistance. And if you can figure out that the only reason why the Grand Canyon is even possible is because the water is so persistent. Understand you're a part of nature as well. And what does that mean? If you're a part of nature, that means it applies to you as well. The same laws that apply in nature apply to you as well. The same way, if water is persistent, it can wear down rock. The same way, when it rains, that means that tomorrow has to be sunshine. Understand that. We are nature. So if you just look at nature, you understand that it all applies to you as well. The same way that bamboo grows underground and then it shoots up, it all applies to you. So, like I said, if it rains today, tomorrow it has to be sunny. Same thing for you. You might be going through something where you're depressed right now. But if you're depressed right now, it's not going to last forever. We're a part of nature. That means that happy days are coming, good days are coming. So if you're depressed right now, understand it's not going to last forever. You got to understand that we are a part of nature. The same way I said bamboo grows underground and then it shoots up. It's the same thing with you. Maybe you're grinding. Maybe you're going through a grind phase and you feel like nobody's noticing you. You feel like you got dirt thrown on you. You feel like you're going through so much and you're starting to ask yourself for what? But like I said, bamboo takes several years or months. I don't fucking know. I'm not a bamboo expert. and then it shoots up out of the ground. But all that growth underground was necessary. It couldn't just shoot up. It had to grow underground. It had to grow in the dark, in obscurity, when nobody was watching. It's the same thing with you. If nobody's watching you, that just means you have to keep going until the day that you shoot up like bamboo. The day that you shoot up is not going to be the day that you start. The day that you shoot up is the day that you've been putting in hours, months, weeks, months, years in order to get what it is that you want. So remain persistent and you will wear down that resistance, all right? Like the video, it helps me out. Comment down below and subscribe. Peace out.